Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Astroguide Mysore. So today, continuing the series of Jupiter's transit in the sign of Aries, which is just started and will be there for one full year. We have finished it till Leo. That is the results of Jupiter's transit for every sign starting from Aries till Leo has already been done. And today we'll be talking about the results of Jupiter's transit, which is going to be the eighth transit of Jupiter for the sign of Virgo. So, all one full year, Virgo has seen a strong seventh Jupiter transit, which was happening in its own sign, and it should have given strong results. Strong results also because it was in its own sign, on its own sign, and then also if Virgo was the ascendant or if Virgo is the moon sign, this particular transit of Jupiter, which happened for one earlier year, that is between 2022 and 2023, till last week, will have given excellent year, results like business, marriage, and travel, and all these things. Now that Jupiter has come to the eighth house, you need to show caution. You need to, travel slowly in this period and with a little low profile. And why? Because you have two major planets getting into a conflict, that is Rahu and Jupiter. And that particular confluence of Rahu and Jupiter, I have spoken about it, but not with regard to the sign of Virgo, because from Virgo, it is the eighth house. So Rahu is coming towards Pisces. Jupiter has just entered Aries and going in for the forward motion, and both will meet. And Rahu will then simply go to Pisces, and Jupiter will again go ahead. So again, Jupiter retrogression, everything will happen. We are not specifically talking about retrogression in this particular series of Jupiter transit. We are just giving you the normal results of Jupiter transit in the 8th for Virgo, and that too in the sign of Aries. So, being the 4th and the 7th Lord, Jupiter is transiting in the 8th. It is a good transit for the 4th house, no doubt. It is also a good transit for the 7th house, no doubt. But where is it transiting? It is in the 8th house. That means dreams and aspirations with regard to the 4th house and the 7th house will get built up for people who have not got married, or for those who want to have their own house or to buy a own flat. So what actually happens is that the inner gut feeling will start in this period. It will keep coming like a strong feeling, a thrust which tells that I need to buy a house now, I need to buy a car now. So all this is Vahanasthana, that is for the vehicles, Grihasthana for the house, and also for Matrusthana for mother. So this particular house and its significations will get a huge boost because Jupiter is aspecting the 4th house here. It is aspecting the 2nd house, which is the house of money. And Jupiter's 5th aspect, it is also aspecting the house of loss. So you should know that if you are going to make loan, that is Saturn, which is transiting in the 6th house, which will give you an opportunity to make a loan. You should also have a strong job. You should never quit. You make a loan and quit your job and then tell that my time is not good. Time was good. It has given you an opportunity, but you will put it into a bad time. So don't take unnecessary steps and jumps into new professions if you don't know that it is a surety that you will last there for a long time. So that is the main crux of this particular transit. But when we see the Veda points, for the 8th house, the Veda is the 11th. That is, any planet which is transiting in the 11th house will create a Veda to the results of Jupiter's transit in the sign of Aries, whether it is good or bad. We are not bothered about the result. When the Veda is there, that means it is going to stop it. If it is doing bad, it will stop Jupiter. If it is doing good, it will stop Jupiter. So the delay. So let's go one by one ahead with regard to the points. Yes? Yeah. So with regard to the points like flow of liquid cash, that is money, might suddenly stop. So this is for people who have done investments and are expecting, or they had continuously were getting some rental income or some other kind of income which was standard income which was coming. I am not talking about the salary here. It is the cash flow. It stops, or there is some hurdle there, and they feel the stress. The same thing should not happen with regard to the cash flow of your salary. You just imagine how tough it would be that you have to pay an EMI and you lose a job. This is happening nowadays in many sectors. And people were very proud of being in IT, and this has hit the IT sector more than anybody else now, more than any other sector, because people have bought a lot of houses, they've made a lot of loan, their salary package was very high, and suddenly the layoffs, the tension, the stress, people are now trembling, people are now afraid in the sphere of IT. They will get jobs. It's not that if 15,000 people are suddenly laid off, that all the 15,000 will be homeless and on the street. No, it's nothing like that. Out of 15,000, 1,000 or 1,500 might not get a job in immediately. They might suffer a 6 months or a 8 month gap, which is very difficult for anybody to sustain when you are paying a vehicle EMI and when you are paying many insurance EMIs. Why I am talking about EMIs particularly? Because it is the eighth house. Paying EMIs, if you have to be strong, it has to be a strong sixth. The sixth is strong. The transit of Saturn in the sixth from Virgo, a fantastic position of transit, but we'll come to that later. Individually speaking, the transit of Jupiter in the eighth is not good. So it's a tiring, fruitless, tough time where a person might feel that he is doing wasteful journeys, health issues, prolonged ailments, which might continuously require a doctor's attention. There might be difficulty in clearance of documentation, like visa processes, like desired visa processes, like the desired college, what you get when you want to go and study abroad. Why this abroad study is coming is because it is the fourth from the fifth. It is transiting. So it is education and where you get educated. The fourth is the place where you go. So that is being now interrupted by this transit of Jupiter. So difficulty to mother's health. We know that it is now directly aspecting the fourth house. There is going to be some problems with regard to mother's health, and risk of imprisonment, inquiries, suspension. These are all tough things to discuss. People who are going through that, they know the problem, they know the difficulty of such a situation. So, getting involved into difficult domestic violence, and I'll not tell that it's only the person who is trying to do the violence. It is a person who might also get involved in the difficulty, who might be a victim of domestic violence. So people who are having 8th house Jupiter and Rahu, Guru Chandala Yoga in the 8th house, for the transit from Virgo, who are born under Virgo moon or Virgo ascendant, please be careful when you are alone or you are traveling alone. Don't go out in odd time periods. Be a little cautious and careful. This is just an advice for you people. So it's not only the domestic violence which might happen to us. So we should be aware of our surroundings and the situation what we are in today. So property disputes and cases might again prolong one more year, or new property cases might get, suddenly might happen. So you have to be careful with regard to documentation and paperwork. That to particularly people who are paying taxes, please pay them on time. because there is a chance that you might, there is a lapse in some documentation, and unnecessarily your business will stall for a year or so, or 8 months or so, so that you will go through the difficulty of paying fines. So conflict with colleagues at office, this is a very tough thing which might happen, because if you see, you can see that for the third house, house where you communicate, this Jupiter is the sixth. The transit is the sixth transit. It's not such a great transit for the third house. Jupiter sixth transit is not good for any house. So, as remedial measures, please watch video number or class number 299. In that, remedies for Jupiter, scientific and traditional remedies, I think both have been explained in detail. And the other remedies, particularly for this transit for Virgo, get into yoga and meditation. That is particularly for this conflict of Jupiter and Rahu, which is happening for the next few months, 4 months or 5 months. This is still there. So joint pains, rheumatoid arthritis, people going through obesity problems, people going through immunity problems, you people do yoga, do some sunbathing, it's good for you. Discord in marital life, I don't think this has too much to be stressed here, because it is the seventh lord. It should not break, but it might provide some confusions, misunderstandings. So excess involvement of mother-in-laws, father-in-laws, in-laws, both sides, will unnecessarily trouble the marriage of a couple. So third party involvement, if it is happening, please be bold enough, both of you, both husband and wife, sit together, decide what to do, and please clarify both sides. Leave us alone for this year. We need some space. So that's very important. So both the couple have to have that clarity. So there might be rift in the couple because of the third party involvement. Avoid involving your parents and try to solve your problems with patience and wisdom. Ego comes in between. That's why I laughed. Patience and wisdom, it's always there in us. Ego is one thing which does not want any friends. It does not want experience, patience, wisdom, perseverance, commitment. These are all friends who are very happy. But when ego comes in, it will simply push everybody out. It's like the Indian koel keeping an egg and throwing the crow's egg outside. Once the egg hatches, the chick, the koel chick will hatch first. Then it has a particular tool, behind a particular protrusion. So it will take the eggs and throw the other crow's eggs outside. That will be the only survivor. That is ego. It doesn't even bother what happens to the nest or to the crow's eggs. That wants to survive. So when ego comes, many things go out of the frame. So the wisdom, the experience, the love, the affection, what all your partner had done for you will simply evaporate. So let us not give space to ego, aham. So caution for people who are into partnership business: do not expand or start a new venture till October 2023. So it will, it will not give you a return on investment. It's not that it will go for a loss, because it's the seventh lord. It should not go for a loss, but it will not give your return on investment immediately. So you will have to unnecessarily shell a lot of money to protect it for that one full year. Okay, delay in promotion and juniors superseding you, which is a very difficult thing to take, because dissatisfaction in the job is not only because you are not being paid, but you compare yourself with your colleagues, and when your colleague who came into the office quite a number of years after you were in that particular position comes into your position equal to you, gets the job, He gets paid full, as good as you. He may not have your experience, but again, he will supersede, become your boss. You can't take it anymore. You will leave the job. So this is a situation people in Virgo, in corporate sectors might face this year. Don't leave your jobs, because that might be a very short term temporary situation, and again everything else will be normal. So please do not unnecessarily take panic decisions in this period. So thank you very much for today's class. I hope these series of classes are helping people to understand the transit of Jupiter. Thank you.